The opinions expressed in the video you are about to see are solely those of BoatTest.com and its test captain.
Hi, Captain Steve for BoatTest.com, and today we're going to do a full test and performance review on the Prestige 500S. Very modern helm layout with two Raymarine E120 widescreen displays to either side, autopilot in the center. Up above, analog gauges for your tachometers with the engine hours embedded inside, and I love having a rudder angle indicator even with IPS. But what I like most about it, that you're probably not even going to notice until the sun starts shining on the panel, is it's all painted with a rubberized paint that eliminates glare completely.
Prestige utilizes Volvo Penta's digital engine controls, which will add features such as single lever, synchronization, and cruise control. The trim tabs are just ahead, and I only found them to be necessary for leveling us out against a crosswind. The IPS joystick is just ahead and to the left of the thruster control.
Two things I'd like to see changed is, one, the location of the climate control. On two separate occasions I accidentally bumped that and turned it from air conditioning to heat. Second, I'd like to see the remote control for the spotlight moved over to the left side of the helm so that your observer can give you a hand in navigating at night. Now the sight lines, you've got nearly a complete 360-degree panoramic view of the outside that's only interrupted by these good-sized window mullions, but because they're so far off to the side, it's not really a problem. If they were closer in towards the center, I'd have an issue with it. The only other obstruction is when you get back to the galley aft. The cabinetry gives you a little interruption, but not a problem. Well, you're looking at 5 feet 5 inches of standing headroom behind the helm, and that's just not going to be good enough. So you're going to look at sitting at the helm while you're driving, or open up the sunroof and stand. With the sunroof open, you're looking at 36 square feet of open air, bringing the outdoors in.
Turning characteristics of the 500S are consistent with the IPS system. At full throttle, the throw is reduced so you don't get hard hold-on-tight turns. Full speed is meant for cruising and subtle turns. If you want a hard turn, you back off on the throttles, and then the pods will increase their turn radius and you can turn sharper. Slow down to idle and you can practically pivot. Notice how as we cross the wake of the camera boat, the 500S tends to stay smooth and level. Smoothness was the common theme with this boat. If you have a nice day and want to add some nice ventilation, there are two electrically actuated side windows that do a very good job of ventilating the salon. And of course, for docking, you'll have a commanding view of the boat's full length.
Requirements for visibility state that you need to be able to see at least the boat lengths in front of you when you're at cruise. That's not a problem on the 500S, and I was also happy with how little bow rise there was that gave me no limitations in visibility. But let's do a whole shot and measure how far up the bow comes. So as we accelerate, a nice gentle 10-degree bow rise, and as we're at stable cruise, 5 degrees, which brings the horizon just under the bow rail. Well, now that we've done the full performance review, let's take a look at the numbers that we got. Looks like top speed came in at 3,500 RPM and 29.8 knots. Now at that speed we were getting 42.5 gallons per hour for 0.7 nautical miles per gallon, and that gave us a range of 217 nautical miles. Now it looks like our best cruise was at 2250 RPM and 14.6 knots, where we were burning 14.5 gallons per hour and getting 1 nautical mile per gallon for a range of 311 nautical miles. Well, we had a time to plane of 5.8 seconds. We reached 20 miles an hour in 7.8 seconds and 30 miles an hour in 15.3 seconds. But the real interesting figure to me was how quiet this boat was. I'm telling you, it's flat out the quietest boat I've ever been on. Sound levels went from 62 decibels to 79 decibels. And just to give you an idea of where that is, this conversation that we're having right now is 75, 74 decibels. Now right now we're at full throttle, and I'm still able to have a casual conversation with everyone who might come aboard and be in the main salon. Now while the IPS 600s gave us good acceleration, it was very interesting that while sitting in the sofa, I didn't notice any difference between when we were going at idle and when we were going at 30 miles an hour. It was just a smooth, solid, stable ride.
When pulling power off, the 500S remains in her 5-degree bow-high attitude until the speed bleeds off and the bow comes down. This is a great feature as we see so many boats that squat and leave you with visibility problems. When docking, the IPS joystick has both a low and high power setting, and I found that useful on test day with a 15-mile-per-hour crosswind running with a stiff current. I used high power to maneuver to the dock and low power to lay up against it. At first I questioned the logic of having a bow thruster in addition to IPS pods, but Prestige combined the two as a result of customer requests. Once I started using both, the sensibility of the logic became evident. When you start getting into really close quarters, being able to move only the bow actually has merit, so high marks to Prestige for meeting customers' needs. And as far as line handling goes,
4 14-inch cleats on either side of the boat. I'm very happy to see that Prestige meets requirements by making the rails 28.5 inches high, grab handle on the side of the deck, and you've got 15.5 inches of walk space between the window and the rail.
a warping winch to port is standard, starboard is optional.
Always a convenient option. Second control station in the cockpit. Well, that's our look at the full test and performance review of the Prestige 500S. For BoatTest.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.